Welcome everyone, SirGuano MoldyCheese, welcoming you to part 2 of our walk on April 12th. That's a cool path. Should I take that illegal path? Let's go exploring. It's a Sunday today, so hopefully I won't get in trouble with somebody from the Railroad Commission. Never been up here. We are experiencing this for the first time. Look, some old railroad trellises there. That's kind of cool. Huh. There's still an active train track up there. So I think as long as I don't get up to that spot, I should be fine from getting in trouble for trespassing. But this path seems to end here, so I might have to trespass after all. Ooh. Don't know if you can hear that wind, if the mic is picking it up, but it is windy. Yeah, so the path ends here. What should we do? That is, I believe the sign says Brew House, which is a restaurant, brewery, I'm not sure. I've heard of Brew House, but not really sure what it is officially. Well, wow. Okay. There we go. Just trying to zoom in on that piece of railroad tie. View of me. Let's keep walking. I remember once when I was running, when I was still a runner, farther north from here, ran
down a path, and next thing you know, I was right next to the railroads like I am now. But I just kept going, and you know, there was buildings, there was a road even, but all of a sudden this little golf cart comes up to me, and the guy is like, "You need to turn around." Like, "What? You are on private property. This is part of the Railroad Commission property." I'm like, "I never saw a sign." I said, "I'm just out for a jog." He's like, "No, you got to get off our property right now or we're going to arrest you." I'm like, "Okay, well, you're not cops, so you can't arrest me." But I'm like, "Okay, well, I'll just, you know, from what I estimated, I was already halfway to the exit on the other side of this property. So I said, "I'll just, you know, I'll exit over there." And he's like, "Nope, you're going to turn around and go back where you came from." I'm like, are you kidding me?" He's like, "Nope, this is private property." I'm like, "Well, there was no signs." He goes, "I don't care if there was no signs. This is private property." Anyway, long story short, I ended up turning around and going back. Oh, so in one of my earlier videos when we were walking on Central Avenue, I mentioned about that building, that 3 or 4 alarm fire we had. And we can see the damage here. Check that out. Like I said, it was a pretty devastating fire. This camera doesn't let me zoom in much when I'm shooting in 4K, but I don't know. Should we walk down there? That would definitely be trespassing, but get over to that. Yeah, I think we're going to do a little urban trespassing here. Hopefully there's no security guards. Being a Sunday, there probably won't be a lot of people to kick me out of here. Whoa. All right. Oh, there's a gate over there, but it looks like you know what? Let's just go, and if we can't get out that way, we'll just come back. That was definitely an intense fire here. And I believe it was started by vagrants that had taken up residence. Huh. Yeah. Happy birthday to somebody. Don't know who. But if it's your birthday, happy birthday. Now the question is, can we get out of here going this way? Is there an opening in any of these gates? That's chained up there. Ha! Section of the gate missing here, so. All right, we did it. There's another view of that. Now we are back on Central Avenue. Well, that was a cool little trip. I want to cross right here, but there's traffic coming. Stop filming for a minute. Pick it up on the other side. There's ooh, that wind. Probably can't hear me. Another little path here. Oh, no, I guess that just brings us up to this parking lot. That building. That building is the Northrup King building, which I've mentioned in a couple other videos. Whew. That wind is wicked. Might have to do a voiceover on this. But I'll keep talking and hopefully you can hear me. Woo. All right, there, finally stopped. So hopefully you can hear me. This is the Northrup King Seed Company building, which is now hundreds of artist studios. There's gate 1. The thing I don't like about this is that you can actually, that actually goes all the way over to 18th Avenue, but they don't have the gate open ever. There's a little park here that they built. You can go look at it. They open up that area during Art Whirl because it makes it easier for traffic, but I wish they would leave it open all the time. But they probably can't do that for legal reasons. this is not a dog park. Let's see. It says Planters by Andrew McGuffey, Studio 432. Little sitting area. There's the plaque. Kristen Arden, Northrup King Building, Studio 432. Building series number 2, mild and stainless steel. Huh. Here's another artwork. I don't see a plaque on that one though. Remember, this is not a dog park. Those are more art studios. Like I said, right over there, far away, is 18th Avenue, and this road keeps going that way, but you can't access it except during Art World. But it looks like they're doing construction, so maybe that's future plans. There's more buildings back there, but I don't think I'm going to go that way today. I have done it before. Led me to the railroad tracks again. Don't want to risk it twice today. So as I mentioned, this entire building, or 80-90% of it, is all artist studios. A lot of artists. This is one of the main hubs for the Art District in Northeast Minneapolis. I believe it was this building and the California building, which, as the name implies, is on California Street. But I believe it was those two buildings that actually started the Northeast, I think it's called NEMA, Northeast Minneapolis Artists Association. I'm not sure. But NEMA started ArtDistrict, so basically this is the birthplace of ArtDistrict, or one of the birthplaces. There's the official main entrance to the Northrup King building. Even though that's the official entrance, I've never actually used that entrance. I usually use the side entrance with the green awning that we saw when we started walking down this way. Furnish, office and home. Closed on Sundays, even though the sign says sale today. Well, I would definitely like having a studio here myself, but cannot afford that. But it would be nice. It would be nice. See some of the old cobblestones. That's the entrance I usually use to go into that building. All right, well. We have a yoga garden. That's a cool sign. Don't know what it is, but it's a cool sign. Can I get that? Probably not, but there's the Northeast Minneapolis Arts District banner. This building here, I mentioned in a previous video, used to be a fabric company. Looks like there's some studios in there, but for the most part it looks pretty empty. It's called the Van Buren Building, 1400 Van Buren. There's some old painted sign here. It says process displays. Screen process printing. Okay, so it used to be a print shop. But I remember there being a fabric mill of some kind here years and years ago. But maybe not, I could be wrong. Maybe it was a screen printing place this whole time. The Fuel Collective sign is still up, but the Field Collective space is still empty, so don't know what's going on there. I always thought it was weird that they have this vault right smack dab in the middle of the sidewalk. More cobblestone road. There's the back half of the Northrup King building. This sidewalk's not in great shape either. Well, thank you for joining me on this walk today. As always, look to the future, but remember the past. We'll see you at the next episode. Peace.